Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Good morrow, everyone. This is The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. I'm Frank Morano. Big changes are happening at City Hall. It seems like every day someone's either arrested, fired, or resigned. Yesterday was no exception. With the recent resignation of Sheena Wright as the first deputy mayor, Mayor Eric Adams has appointed Maria Torres Springer to step into this key role. Just so you understand, this is probably, other than the mayor himself, the most important role in city government. You are the person. You direct operations at every agency within city government. And while Torres Springer is well regarded in some circles for her long career in city government, her leadership of the City of Yes initiative is a major red flag for a lot of New Yorkers, especially in the outer boroughs, including me. The City of Yes is essentially a sweeping set of zoning reforms aimed at increasing housing density throughout New York City. The idea sounds good on paper, more housing to address the affordable housing crisis, but in reality, it's turning into a disaster for neighborhoods across the 5 boroughs. What it really means is more towering developments in already congested communities, more strain on infrastructure like schools and transportation, and fewer protections for longtime residents. Who supports this plan? Not ordinary New Yorkers. The real backers of City of Yes, is it any wonder that the mayor pushed this so much, are special interest groups and big developers who stand to make a fortune from the relaxed zoning laws. They're the ones pushing for it because it opens the floodgates for more high-rise buildings and luxury developments. Meanwhile, local residents are left dealing with the consequences, like overcrowded streets, packed subway cars, and skyrocketing rents that drive people out of the communities they've called home for decades. Torres Springer has been at the helm of this initiative from the start, and now, as first deputy mayor, she'll have even more power to push these misguided policies forward. The City of Yes is not a solution to the affordable housing crisis. It's a giveaway to real estate developers at the expense of working-class neighborhoods. If we want to truly address the housing problem in New York, we need solutions that focus on preserving affordable housing, not bulldozing our communities to make room for luxury towers that only the wealthy can afford. It's crucial that New Yorkers pay attention to what's happening here. As Torres Springer steps into her new role, we should be vigilant about how City Hall's decisions impact our neighborhoods, and we should demand policies that prioritize the needs of residents, not just the desires of developers.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Good morrow, everyone. This is The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. All right, folks, let's talk about 2 New York institutions in crisis. The New York Jets and, of course, City Hall. Both are on the verge of losing key figures, but while the Jets are trying to shake things up for a fresh start, Mayor Eric Adams is doing his best to convince us that his administration's revolving door is No big deal. Now, Mayor Adams has lost more key staffers than I can keep track of. He's losing staffers left and right, either through resignations or firings. And what's his reaction? Cool as a cucumber. According to him, people come in and out of government all the time. Nothing to see here. Here was the mayor yesterday.
Can you imagine a mayor or a head of an agency or head of a business saying, no, we'll never get any more resignations? That's not life. People come in and out of government.
Really, Mr. Mayor? Losing your top staffers in the middle of ongoing scandals is no big deal? I mean, how does he expect anyone to believe this? What's next? Will the mayor tell us that New York traffic is actually just fine, or that the rent really isn't too damn high? The only person not leaving because of a scandal right now at City Hall is Robert Saleh, the Jets head coach. He's getting the boot because, well, the Jets still can't figure out how to win football games. The team's talented, yes, but after a 2-3 start, Saleh is on the chopping block. Some say it's because of his clashes with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Rodgers was too busy calling his buddy RFK Jr. to figure out how to fix the offense. And wouldn't that be something? Maybe Rodgers and RFK Jr. could team up as the Jets' new coaches. Well, that'd be somebody he could at least get along with. You want someone with new energy? There you go. Who knows? Maybe it's exactly what the Jets need after all this turmoil. After all, this is New York. Crazier things have happened. But back to City Hall. While the Jets are at least trying to course correct with new leadership, Adams is acting like all these departures are business as usual. Meanwhile, the rest of us are left scratching our heads. If this is how he handles crises at City Hall, what happens when the next big citywide problem comes along? Will it be more of no big deal? Or maybe a resignation here, a firing there, and a shrug in between? The delusion is starting to feel contagious. Best of luck to the Jets fans. Best of luck to the players and their new coaching staff, because it's looking like they're going to need it. And New Yorkers could use a little bit of luck when it comes to who's going to be running city government in a short while.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Oh my God, it's the coolest thing ever. Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? Well, check this out. It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. Seriously. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
The annual Global Citizen Festival in Central Park is under fire again, this time with City Council member Gale Brewer calling for it to be banned altogether. The event, which drew 60,000 attendees this year, left the Great Lawn in need of major repairs. Again, after last year's muddy mess caused over $620,000 in damages. While the festival does cover the cost of the repairs, Brewer argues that the disruptions, 2-week closures, noise, foot traffic obstructions are too much for New Yorkers to bear for a one-day event. In her letter to the mayor, she urged him to find a new venue, like a stadium or arena outside of Central Park. On the surface, Brewer's frustrations are very understandable. Central Park is a cherished space, and long-term closures of the Great Lawn deprive New Yorkers of one of the city's most iconic public areas. Last year, the lawn had to be closed for 7 months due to the damage from the festival. That's an enormous inconvenience for a one-day event, especially when inclement weather is involved. However, I wonder if banning the festival outright is the right move. After all, the festival does bring in a lot of money, it does bring in a lot of tourism, and it does have a legacy of bringing big names like Ed Sheeran and Chris Martin to perform for free in New York, which is a great thing. And it supports various charitable causes, although Brewer points out that very little, if any, of the funds go to New York City nonprofits, which is a fair criticism. So maybe there's a middle ground here. Instead of banning the festival or moving it to a venue that loses the magic of a Central Park concert, why not take extra measures to protect the lawn? The festival organizers have already shown they're willing to pay for damages, and they took extra precautions this year, like pre-seeding the lawn and using additional flooring to limit damages. Why not go a step further? The city could implement a stricter weather management plan, as proposed last year, where events are automatically postponed or relocated if there's too much rain. The city could also consider implementing special regulations for large events in the park, including tighter restrictions on the number of attendees, limiting access to more sensitive parts of the lawn, or even upgrading the lawn itself to better handle these sort of crowds. If the festival can't comply with these protections, then maybe relocating it would be the best option. At the end of the day, Central Park is meant to be enjoyed by all New Yorkers, and we should do everything we can to protect it. But that doesn't mean we have to sacrifice vibrant cultural events like the Global Citizen Festival. With the right planning, we can have both an active park and a world-class concert venue.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
This episode is brought to you by Factor. Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code listen50 for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code listen50. T's and C's apply.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Queens Councilman Robert Holden is once again absolutely right to be outraged, and frankly, so should the rest of us. His criticism of New York City's sanctuary city laws following the release of a dangerous Venezuelan gang member twice into the community highlights a fundamental issue. Public safety is being sacrificed at the altar of political ideology. Javier Jose Albornoz Marchán, a 22-year-old Venezuelan national and confirmed member of the Tren de Arauca gang, was arrested for criminal possession of a firearm, yet despite ICE detainer requests, the city released him back into the streets twice. This story isn't an isolated case. It's a symptom of a larger problem. Sanctuary city laws prevent local law enforcement from cooperating with federal immigration authorities. And as Holden points out, this leaves our communities vulnerable. In this case, Albornoz, who entered the U.S. illegally in 2022, had a track record of arrests. He was convicted for a serious firearms offense, and yet the city's Department of Corrections ignored federal detainers and let him walk. To make matters worse, after his release, Albornoz allegedly made threats against local law enforcement. How many chances does one person get before we recognize the clear danger? ICE's New York City director, Kenneth Genayo, was right to sound the alarm, saying it's unconscionable that this violent felon was allowed to roam free. And it is. If local jurisdictions won't work with federal agencies to enforce immigration laws, then the public is left exposed to exactly this kind of risk. The rationale behind sanctuary city laws was supposed to be about protecting vulnerable, nonviolent immigrants from undue deportation. But when it extends to violent offenders and known gang members, the policy has clearly gone off the rails. Councilman Holden has been vocal about this issue for a long time, advocating for the repeal of sanctuary city laws that prevent local authorities from honoring ICE detainer requests. He, along with the City Council's Common Sense Caucus, recently introduced legislation to overturn these dangerous policies. This isn't about politics. This is about safety. Holden is also calling on Governor Kathy Hochul to step in and temporarily suspend sanctuary city laws. This is common sense. We can't allow open borders and sanctuary policies to leave our cities vulnerable to crime. We need action now to make sure that cases like Albornoz's don't become the norm. Councilman Holden is right on target, and for the safety of all New Yorkers, we should be listening. To be continued.